Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the PML Wrestling Show. It's the PML Crew, Rich Lopez, Thomas, the homeboy, the Chugster Malloy, Robert Price, always with us, top shelf. Homeboy, how you doing?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. Another day in the life here in NEPA. It's summertime, my favorite season of the year.
Humid.
I'm digging it. I like sweating. Don't have to go in the sauna as long. So
You're right. You're all about the gains. I'm not. When you're
I'm all
fat,
about burning the cows, bro, because I eat a lot of gains.
Let's say I'm scat. I'm like skinny fat, so yeah, I don't like this humidity shit.
We look good with our clothes on.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, that's only. I mean, you guys see here up, yeah, I look good probably, but down here you can probably see a little curvature. So yeah, I don't like the humidity. I like fall weather, man. I'm a fall guy.
I like fall as well.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
You wear more clothes.
Got the new deck too, baby.
Yeah.
So be able to enjoy that fall. I'm gonna try to put a TV out there just so I could put in my what the hell is it? Fire stick. Fire stick. I'd say firefly. It's not firefly.
Get a little fire pit for out there.
Oh yeah, I do. Like yeah, I'm gonna try to extend it off of the deck. Yeah, fire pit. Expand it off the deck. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm just excited for football season, obviously, because basketball's wrapping up. It's like Sunday's the last game, if it even goes to Sunday. Thursday could be the last game. Stanley Cup just started, but I mean, hockey's not my go-to. I might watch it after this because we're recording on Wednesday. No, it's Lightning and Avalanche, like legit, like two best teams in the NHL, probably.
Who's Lightning? Where are they from? I don't follow.
Bro, see, this is what's wrong with America, especially sports. Tampa Bay Lightning are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. They're in them for a third time, and they're trying to get a three-peat, and you don't even know where the hell they're from. Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's so it's crazy.
From?
Colorado.
That's
all right. That's all right. Yeah, I mean, they're good. They've been good for, I think, a year or two. I mean, Clappett knows way more than I do, but like when it comes to playoffs, I know the good teams.
Yeah.
But the Lightning, yeah, dude, they're back-to-back champions going for a three-peat, and because it's hockey, nobody gives a shit. If it was the Warriors, who's possibly going to have a ring, like, what would it be, 4 in 8 years? So it'll be like every other year.
Are.
Yeah, so you know who they are. The Patriots have done it. Like, you know who they are. Lightning, yeah, I mean, it's a Florida team for hockey. It makes no sense, but they're so good.
That is odd, but I mean, I guess because there's just so much. I think hockey's grown in our country for sure.
It has, yeah.
And it's just there's more facilities, more open. Like, you just don't have to live in, like, Massachusetts or Canada to be good at hockey anymore.
Yeah. The one thing that's not odd, or the one thing that I could always resort to especially, is wrestling. And a match that we're going to cover is Money in the Bank 2010. It's the very first Money in the Bank pay-per-view, because obviously that's the next pay-per-view coming up. And this is the very first match of the inaugural show, which is the Money in the Bank match. I believe this is the one where, I forgot we're not doing spoilers, so you got to watch the match, or at least listen to us to listen who wins. But if you're an historian, I'm sure you already know. But, yeah, this is the very first match, if you guys don't know for some reason. If you're a little kid and never saw Money in the Bank match before, it's obviously where you have 6, 7, or 8. It's usually, one WrestleMania it was 10, but 8's probably the best number. So we'll go with 7 or 8. Participants in a ladder match, winner gets the briefcase, and you can have that briefcase for up to a year. Cash in on any champion at any time. So it was obviously, this match was made synonymous with WrestleMania. I guess it got to the popularity that it was getting, and they wanted to make make it one of the pay-per-views that you would see yearly. And it's one of those gimmick pay-per-views that you and I they do good, but you don't like to see it every year. I mean, I think WrestleMania was a good way to get people on the card, and it was a good way to maybe produce a potential champion. But to have it as an actual pay-per-view, I'm not a fan of it. I don't know your thoughts. And real quick, the minute marker it's very early. It's actually, no hours or 2 hours like we've been doing. It's 2 minutes, 56 seconds. So as we're talking right now, to let you guys get to it on the Peacock, you guys could probably even watch the promo. But yeah, 2 minutes, 56 seconds we're going into. So your thoughts on a gimmick pay-per-view?
My thoughts, like on a whole gimmick pay-per-view, I just never liked it because the first time I heard of like them going this way, that's when I kind of like jumped back into wrestling, like 2010, 2011.
I was gonna say, for me, this is a kind of like, I followed it, didn't watch it religiously, so like I know who the stars are.
Yeah, I'd watch a Raw here or there. Like if I was with you, you'd be like, hey, let's order WrestleMania. Like that's what we would do. And this was my wrestling, like where I kind of like ducked out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like
I was in college. I was watching pay-per-views. I wasn't watching no Raw or Smackdown.
No, I had no time for that.
So
I had
time for this.
Exactly, lots of time for this. And
oh dang, where'd you get that?
So cool thing was
Broken Skull, by the way.
Broken
if you guys
Skull
are listening.
IPA WWE. Finally got a can up here in my wrestling collection of cans. I only got 2. Hopefully I get some more. My brother had like a Macho Man Randy Savage beer a couple weeks ago. Said it was really good.
Nice.
However, my brother-in-law Dylan, thank you. He bought me like a case of Broken Skull because we were supposed to go to a concert. It was supposed to be my wedding gift. We were supposed to go see Rage Against the Machine in New York City. COVID just canceled it. So he's like, you know, you could order beer online.
I know you could. I thought you could bring it in from PA.
I don't know.
Maybe beer's different, but I know we tried to get my mom Cisco as a birthday gift like 3 years ago. Maybe it's because of the lethality, if that's even a word, how lethal Cisco is. I'll dumb it down.
What is Cisco?
It's like pretty much like a 90s version of a Four Loko.
That's awesome.
It's not awesome. It tastes like shit. It tastes like, I forget what they used to call it. Liquid crack. That's what they would call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom's go-to, Heidi. Shout out to the Cisco.
I mean, hey, we used to drink Locos.
That is true. I mean, everybody has their growing up like crazy phase.
I used to
Locos
drink
for
Mad Dogs.
I had a Mad Dogs a couple times when I was 21.
Yeah, Mad Dogs, Saint D's, whatever, all those 40s and different types of shitty wine.
Yeah.
So he got me a bottle of Slipknot whiskey. It's sitting over there on my thing. We'll try that. Maybe we'll break that open one of these days. Really cool. And then I got this, but he got sent to my house, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome."
That is awesome, dude. Shout out.
Yeah,
but give me pay-per-views. Yeah, this is like I know you're kind of going off of when you got into wrestling. So you said this was a time like during the gimmick pay-per-views.
I got back in it during the gimmick pay-per-views. I remember a friend of the show, Louis Honeywell. Louis was like, "Yo, dude, let's watch this pay-per-view." I remember it was a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view.
I remember I wanted to go see the first Hell in a Cell because I thought every match was going to be in Hell in a Cell.
Dude, I said the same thing. I was like, "Bro, it was like every match in Hell in a Cell." He's like.
And it was in Philly. I wanted to double check, but I know it was either in Philly or like Baltimore or somewhere where it was like a 3-hour ride max. I'm like, dude, we can go. And then we found out there's only gonna be like 2 matches. And I was like, well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah, so I think that's stupid. I think the gimmicks itself, the matches should just be saved for a special time. Like this match should be used at WrestleMania or SummerSlam. And I agree that there should be a men's one and a women's one. That's fine.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But there doesn't need to be like the title is in a ladder match. There's all these different things like going on with ladders, and it's like. Yeah, you could just call the pay-per-view something else. Like they had some really good names for pay-per-views over the years, and I don't know if they did. Like I remember there was like a big thing they didn't want anything to be violent. The names of the shows like Backlash, Judgment Day.
Oh yeah, that was during like the band, like the original PG, band list, PG list. But yeah, it's weird. Like I'm torn because I mean back then I was like, this is stupid. And Money in the Bank's the only one that I can kind of be okay with. But I'm like literally like just recently getting used to it because I'm of the mindset of 2022. Everybody's attention is a little bit like I'll just say it's quick. You know what I mean? Like it really quick. So I feel like the Money in the Bank is a 1-match version of King of the Ring. So like instead of seeing somebody come out 3 times in a night, you get 1 ladder match for about 30 minutes and you get your winner.
But I guess that's like to say like back in the 90s when there was a King of the Ring or early 2000 King of the Ring pay-per-view. Not all the matches were a King of the Ring match. I mean, one match was Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince and Shane. So I guess they've always kind of done this, but I just don't like.
I think Hell in a Cell for me is the big kicker.
Yeah, that's one.
And then it used to be TLC, which I was like, oh, that's stupid.
Well, every match should be TLC then.
Yeah, and then they tried to do variation. They started doing that. Yeah, but Money in the Bank, I'm okay with. I think that's the only one I can really think of. Hell in a Cell, I especially hate the. Dang. Red Cell, stupid. But anyway, I hope you guys are on it. We're on 2 minutes, 56 seconds. We're going to get this going. Right now, you probably see a shot of just various ladders around the ring. And then, as always, we're going to do our 3, 2, 1 play. So, Malloy, will you do the honors once I say it? 3, 2, 1, play. Plizzy. And yeah, we got the nice close-up there. It's beautiful.
Yo, remember the rap song that was like, I got money in the bank?
Oh, by Lil Scrap.
Yeah. Come on. That used to be in the one wrestling video game when that first came out.
Was it really?
Yeah. And then, like that was like one of the matches you could play, and that was like one of the songs in the game.
Lil Scrap.
I was like, that's cool.
Come on now. Yo, what the problems? Kofi coming out right now, starting it off.
Kofi looking thick. That's why he still had a chest. R.I.P.
Oh, somewhat of a chest. Let's be honest. But I mean, this is where he was. He's always going to be crazy athletic. He might be 65 years old, crazy athletic. Dude, but right now, he's like in 2010. uber ultra athletic.
I
and
watched
he's got the
his
trunks
transition from like Kofi. I think he was from Jamaica or Ghana, one of the two first. I think he was actually from both places. Before he like was just billed from like just being Kofi Kingston, the regular guy that's super athletic.
Yeah, Kofi Kingston from Boston with this accent isn't gonna work. So yeah, I think it was something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
he has like even when you like listen to his podcast, you know he's from like the New England states.
Yeah.
So it was
Who's
kind of
this,
cool to
Ziggler
see
walking out?
Ziggler. Yeah.
Look at these two workers right here. 2010
They're
mid card,
workers, and
still
they're still
kind of
same
mid
spot.
card, but just it's just a legacy you just forget about.
Yeah,
They
and
just
it's
put
the
the
crazy
Smackdown
part
one,
is
too, I
like
believe,
Dolph
right?
Ziggler could tie like any of these guys up because he was like a state champion.
Yeah,
at
Kent State. He has a record. Yeah, it's crazy.
And like it's crazy. Like you hear guys like Flair, Ricky Steamboat, like all the top tier legends from the '80s, '90s that were like WCW guys. They like think he's like the best worker on the card.
Dude, he could sell his ass off
Yeah.
though, and he could actually work. Like obviously, we always talk about missed opportunities with him at the end of 2014.
So far, this match looks like missed opportunities.
Yeah, honestly, you know what? You're right. Christian coming in. I always thought Christian should have had like a slightly higher spot of mid card. Like I honestly think him and Edge are actually equals. Yo, look at this
Another one.
lineup. I haven't seen this match in probably
I haven't
since
watched this in 10
2010,
years,
2011. And this is when Dashing started getting a shitload of like steam.
Cody's
and he
like
kind
in
of talked
his
about that
late
in Broken
20s
Skull
here, too.
Yeah, he talked about this kind of with what was I gonna say with Broken Skull, saying like this is where he started really like liking the character development, and he started feeling more confident, breaking off from Legacy. And I mean, to be fair, I think 2011. I mean, this is obviously a couple months before, but 2011 at WrestleMania, he has a killer match with Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
And then from there, I feel like he should have been like main event or very on the cusp, just like Ziggler. I don't think Kofi was there yet, but
No.
definitely a Ziggler and definitely a Cody. Matt, I mean, I always thought Christian should be there no matter what. I thought he's at the same level as Edge. I don't think Matt Hardy's ever been at the same level of Jeff Hardy until
No.
deletion.
Yeah.
So
I
we're still
think-
like 5, 6 years, probably 6, 7 years away from that.
Yeah, and honestly, that character was cool, and also I did enjoy the big money. Holy shit! I didn't realize who was on this match.
Yeah, this is crazy now
yeah.
looking back on it, right? I didn't either. I'm actually getting ready to pull up the results now, but
You watched this 12 years ago, and you're like, these guys are never gonna make it.
Yeah, they're all
Hardy will
mid-card.
be done in a couple years. Christian's just trying to get that last gaps, and like they're all still wrestling on TV today so far.
Yeah, to be
Everyone's
fair,
match.
just in case people are listening, we're talking about Drew McIntyre just came out. I
Yes.
keep forgetting that sometimes we have listeners on the Spotify or
Rapid
Apple or
driving
wherever
in the
else
car.
you get your podcasts. So definitely follow us, PML Wrestling Show. But yeah, dude, this Raw, like this is what
and
I was
then
like
came
talking
the
about.
perpetual mid Carter. Like,
Yeah, he's like always like the solidified mid Carter right here. Like
He's
just
like-
always
he's
in
the
a
Razor
prominent
Ramon.
match. Yeah, you can see that. I can see that. Definitely not as good as of a worker, but I think
No.
his gimmick his gimmick is itself. Like it's better. That is his work. His pants are cool in this too.
And it's
Like, I haven't
crazy
seen
for
that
a
one.
guy who's been doing it as long as Kane, and also his size. Like he's a big dude,
Oh,
like
yeah.
physically, like height wise, jacked, and he does all these crazy
Look at
ladder
thick
matches and
there.
shit. Like you think like Taker's like, I'm not doing that. Triple H's like, I'm not doing. Like how many ladder matches Triple H
Oh
and
my
Undertaker been?
Look at this. Wow.
Big Show too. Again, two big dudes that kind of just gone like they've done every match.
Yeah,
Him and
they-
Kane have just been very over the years, very flexible.
I would say
T-
Taker's done it, but I think Taker's like, yeah, if I'm gonna do this ladder match, I'm doing it with like Jeff Hardy or Edge. I'm doing it with people that have made the ladder match. I'm not doing this shit with
Matt Hardy and
Drew
Christian.
McIntyre and Dolph, who's been in the company for like 3 years.
Yeah, Undertaker's gonna be like, okay, so for instance, I'll have Dusty in there, Jeff,
Yeah.
Edge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
Andre the Giant, like people like if you like compare
Solidified
like,
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But it is kind of cool to see this. Like this is where I was like talking about. Like for me, like 2010, I think it was a whole bunch of like, you have Cena, Batista just left, so you have like Cena, Orton, Taker's pretty much on part time. Shawn just retired. Triple H is essentially on part time. So to me, it's like you have Cena, you have Orton, and you have a little bit of Punk grooming, but it's at the same time, it's like you know he's going to be the guy that is like he's at 2010. I think CM Punk's like the Daniel Bryan, where like the people love him, but the company doesn't want to push him as the guy. So it's like Cena and Orton, and that's it. So like looking at this mid card, it's a lot of potential, but it's still not even there yet. So like I never really paid attention.
You know, what was a really good WrestleMania match too. Was Cody versus Big Show for the Intercontinental title.
I'm not a Big Show fan. Obviously,
that's one of Big Show's better matches at Mania.
Yeah, 100%. I completely respect what he's done. I would never knock his impact or his talent, even as a big guy. Because especially, with the thing with Andre always, and I'm always going to compare those two.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
Andre, yeah, that's amazing.
It's just funny, like, the stuff he did over his career for being a guy who is...
He was definitely more...
He's very entertaining.
Yeah, he was definitely more entertaining than, like, Andre in regards to, like, charisma. But at the same time, I think in today's, like, era over so much television, he had to be.
Yeah.
Where Andre, like, him showing up when there was no cameras around, it's like you had to be there to see it. So, like, it kind of, like, he sold itself, if that makes any sense. But
well, it's like,
I do give
like
credit to Big Show.
It's like the mystique of the Slam. Like, obviously... what's his name, who smoked cigarettes like right before a match and was Harley Race. Harley Race slammed him a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And like people would ask him, like Flair would be like, "Oh, was Andre cool with that?" He's like, "I picked him up. I said slam."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like so like, and then there was a big thing where Andre was like that with Hogan, but it's like that was on a national screen. Like 250 people saw you in Katowice. You know what I mean? That's different than WrestleMania 3.
Of course.
So, yeah, and then it's like Andre did the territory system where Big Show kind of was just like, he was kind of the first, like, trainee of WCW, really.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he was trained by Hogan.
Yeah.
No one really trained him. Like, Hogan showed him what to do and, like...
The simple shit.
Yeah.
And then even in WWE, when he started adapting, like, that style, he wanted to showcase his selling, and Taker's like, nah, you're a big guy. Let's
work like a big man.
Yeah.
However, out of the big men, because sometimes he does also look like King Kong Bundy, he's a much better wrestler than King Kong Bundy.
I mean, Big Show is definitely like top 5, but like to me, like the way they utilize him in big matches, I just never thought he deserved it. If that makes any sense, like the Fatal 4-Way at 2000, to me didn't deserve it. WrestleMania 25 Triple Threat to me didn't deserve to be there. I've always liked him in the role of like a mid card title or like just like a
best match
premium.
Actually,
like Cena.
Like, best match I've ever seen in him in UFC
20, like that.
He made Cena that night.
Yeah, perfect. Just because I think he always under-delivered. Like the handicap match with Taker at 19, under-delivered. 16, under-delivered. 15 with Mankind, under-delivered.
Yeah.
But like he's obvious. But at the same time, obviously that's just like one show a year. For him to be on the roster all that time, on TV all that time, like obviously that's very, very commendable. And so I'm just like not a fan of like, oh, it looks like somebody missed their spot. Hardy looked back. Dang. I wonder, what do you think Christian and Matt Hardy are thinking as you see them two kind of battling out in the middle of the ring? It's like, well, another trip around the old steel ladder.
Yeah, it's like, oh, another night of doing big-ass bumps, and none of us are getting the title, so
we're
this is great.
We're like 35, 36 now, which is,
And
so their first ladder match together was in 1999, so you're literally 11 years out, like 11 years after this, or 11 years prior. So can you imagine just being like 11 years after, like, so think of it like being 1999 and you're just like, wow, in 11 years we're going to have another ladder match together. It's like, nah, you're crazy.
Yeah.
And then here you are doing it.
I mean, it is crazy.
Match in real life right here.
It's also crazy to think like 10 years after that fact too, they're still wrestling.
That's true too. Yeah,
Christian
they're still
hasn't done any ladder matches since his return, which I don't think he should.
No, I don't think anybody.
I think Christian is going to be an exceptional agent. I think he has a really mind, because pretty much all the ladder matches were put together by him and Matt Hardy and Bubba Dudley.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, it's crazy what the minds that he has. And
but that's a good thing too. Like, imagine being these guys and like, yeah, your body got you there, your body made you all your money, but the next 15, 20 years, so you actually need, like, a normal person retires. Yeah. You can make it being, a coach more or less, and you don't see that a lot in other sports like the NFL or NHL. Do you see that a lot?
Usually like assistant coaches, and then they'll work their way up.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, obviously,
you don't see like people like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning like going back and being coaches after they retire.
Some do, yeah.
But you don't see The Rock or Stone Cold being coaches either.
I just say the better, the more impactful the person. That was a crazy bump, by the way, Ziggler just took. I just want to throw it out there because that ladder looks really high. It's either that or the camera work is phenomenal. But
well, just think too, that ring is kind of high too. Like, when you think about like how high a ring is, I mean, the ring is like a good, a good
I'm just
4
worried
feet
about
off the ground.
I focus on like the height though to the ring, just because how hard the ring is. So like no matter how high the ring is, like you're still landing on 2x4s or 2x6s, whatever it is. Back to like the most impactful or best players becoming like mentors. Most of the time they don't work because, like, for example, Michael Jordan's like majority owner / general manager, and I think he's had 2 winning seasons since he's done it since 2005.
Wizards, right?
Well, he was on the Wizards, but like it
I
was
thought he
the
owned the
Bobcats.
Wizards.
No, Bobcats, and now the Hornets. But he's had 2 winning seasons, and that's because he's so great of a player. It's like he expects everybody to be at that level where it's not. Where you have Steve Kerr, obviously the Warriors coach, who was always like a really good mid-carder or role player, right? And because he understands how you have to like adapt to certain players and personalities, and you also have to work hard and work on your strengths, work on your weaknesses. That's why obviously he has Steph Curry, which is amazing, but I mean,
so those who who can't teach.
Yes, exactly. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, those who can't teach. The best do it. Those who can't teach.
But because I mean, even too, I remember listening to a documentary with Ted DiBiase how he came back as an agent and he hated it.
That makes sense. Some people just don't like the schedule and then dealing with the personality.
Yeah.
So. Like, can you imagine trying to deal with Sean and Brett?
Oh my God.
I'm like, nah.
And now Sean is an agent. Like,
true.
It's crazy that he's the GOAT, like one of the greatest of all time, and he's backstage telling people what to do.
He's a rarity. Him and Triple H are like rarities. But like, I don't think you ever see Austin do it.
Austin, Rock, Flair, Hogan.
Maybe Taker.
I think Taker would do it because I think he just loves being around it. Like, and Taker never made the business bigger than himself.
I would say he's an anomaly though, because he has never had an ego from being as the main guy, being low on the card, where Triple H was the guy. Then obviously once he got out of the limelight, he's like, all right, now I could push other people.
Taker's the only dude who never did a movie. So it's like that's been his business. Like Sean's been in movies, Triple H's been in movies.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys have.
Can you imagine wrestling with no knee pads, by the way?
Also, that's crazy that Cody, like 26 years old, him and Cesaro, I think, are both nut jobs. Oh my God.
Yeah, Christian's like, I ain't taking that bump unless somebody catches me. And Big Show said, I'm not catching you.
He went.
Yeah.
So it's
that camera works awesome. It makes it look so much higher. Oh.
But I don't know, man. Like, look at that. Like, imagine hitting those ropes. Those ropes are so bouncy, tight. Like, as soon as you hit them, like that, you're getting. Like, you remember like the first time you hit a rope and like how bruised your back was? Imagine just like you're falling from 10 feet in the air onto your neck on it.
Yeah.
But you're trying to break your fall with your arms, so your arms are going to be sore as hell. Like, he didn't use the arms to break the fall there. He just ate it. Drew, right now, in this state, you're like,
no, let's see this
force
match.
feed.
I'd love to see this match.
Now,
they were like, what were they called? Like Big Dogs? Dirty Dogs? No, not Dirty Dogs. No, that was him and Bobby.
No, yeah. Yeah, they were. It was just pretty much, to me, it was just like a spoof of Diesel and Shawn Michaels, but done at this point in time, and I really enjoyed it, honestly.
Yeah, but like, what was I forgot? Dogs of War, War of Dogs. Like, what was him, Ziggler, and Braun when they did that Hell in a Cell match?
Dogs of War, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I wish they kind of did a split off of that and then had a match.
There's a local band called Cruel Bomb. They're like a heavy metal band, really good.
Really?
They have a new single called Dogs of War.
That's cool.
It's really good. I just listened to it. And Brandon's a big wrestling fan, so Brandon, if you're watching this, I got to pick up a T-shirt from you.
Solid.
However, Drew at this stage of the game, like, I remember when he first came out, I was like, this guy is not going to be the next big thing.
There was no charisma.
He sucked.
He had potential, but it's so hard when you're that new to be sold on potential. Like, you need to give the crowd something.
I don't know why Vince thought was just like, let's get, like, he's going to be my guy.
Yeah,
because Vince did that with him and he did it with Austin Theory. But however, it is working with Austin Theory.
But Austin's also entertaining, though.
Yeah.
Like, McIntyre literally just came out and just, like, walked out. Really had no charisma.
Like, hello.
Yeah, it was like, it was weird. Where Theory's obviously, he's with Vince, but now you see him now. He's doing a lot of entertaining stuff, the bodybuilding stuff with Lashley, and he's obviously done stuff with Pat McAfee.
That shit was funny.
It was cool. He's very talented. It's awesome.
He could be the next Cena.
I can see that.
But speaking of,
the only thing I don't like, I don't want to say I don't like about it because it's like nitpicking and stupid, but I don't understand the selfie thing with him. Like Tyler Breeze, I got it because of the costumes and the songs and his character. So like I got this up. I don't get it with Theory. I don't think he needs it anymore.
It's like, dude, are you just like a mark? Like
maybe that's what it is. No, that could be it. You're right. Like maybe he is a mark. Maybe that's what he's supposed to be, like a mark for himself. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always think about that. I'm like when he pulled that out, I'm like, I feel like I haven't seen that in a while. Could be completely wrong because I don't watch Raw. I just saw the Instagram thing today, yesterday. But I was just like, I don't get it. And again, great camera work showing how high he actually is.
And like comparison, like where like the fans are, that's like almost to the close to the nosebleeds.
Yeah, Kofi's like, nah, I don't want to do this on the. This is the first match of the night. Completely overshot it. I think Drew just caved his chest in, hit his head up the steps. Great bump, though.
Yeah.
Kofi's like, I overshot that. That's crazy.
That is funny. It's just like, Kofi's so good.
He is good. This whole, like...
This is a good, like, for, like, an opening match at the first Money in the Bank pay-per-view, like, this is really good.
Yeah, completely agree.
I mean, this is a good pay-per-view overall. I mean, this is main event is Cena.
Let's go over the card.
CM Punk?
Nope, you're off.
No, you're off. 2011.
I'll read the results down here now. So, obviously, this took place. When did this take place? Obviously, in 2010. But July 18, 2010, Kansas City, Missouri. Attendance, 8,000. Buy rate, 169K. Woo! That's nice. That's a nice transition. Ziggler hanging from the briefcase, which is like 15 feet up. Big Show grabs him right into a chokeslam. And now here we go with the actual results of Money in the Bank. Santino Marella defeats William Regal. I think that's when Regal started getting his punishment for the substance abuse after he won King of the Ring. Or might be a couple years later, actually.
2008 he won the King of the Ring.
That's what it was. Sure. Okay, yeah, so 2 years later. So yeah, I was off. 2 years off. That's me. All right, we have the winner of this. I'm not going to say, but obviously you see the participants here. Other matches, Alicia Fox defeated Eve Torres by pinfall for the Divas Championship. I always think about that, too. The terminology of Divas is just out the window now.
It's crazy. We met Eve Fox. That was cool. She danced on the bar at Rodano's.
You mean Alicia Fox?
Alicia Fox, yeah.
See, I don't know an Eve Fox.
Yeah.
Hard Dynasty, D.H. Smith, Tyson Kidd defeats the Usos. I'd like to see that match if Tyson Kidd was ever to get back in the ring. Because that's just amazing. That was a tag team match. Again, the Hard Dynasty won. We have Rey Mysterio defeating Jack Swagger for the World Heavyweight Championship. We have the winner of the Money in the Bank cashing in against Rey Mysterio. Again, this was for the SmackDown This is for the SmackDown title. We have Layla defeating Kelly for the Women's Championship. I forgot that there was 2 titles at this time.
The title's cut in half or something like that.
When Layla and Michelle McCool were like, I forget.
Lay Cool.
Yeah, I think this is like right before it, I think. But the last 2 matches, we have The Miz defeating Chris Jericho, Edge, Evan Bourne, John Morrison, Mark Henry, Randy Orton, Ted DiBiase for the Raw version of the Money in the Bank. Look at that ladder, dude. That's a beautiful ladder.
I like that they got away from the fact having the Raw and SmackDown one and there was just one Money in the Bank.
First of all, I hate the goddamn paint, dude. Like, I hate.
It's the reinforced ladder.
Well, I love that. I'm talking about the briefcases. Like, I hate the blue and I hate the red. I'm not even really a big fan of the green. RVDs. I like when it was personalized. I think Sandow's was the best. Like the business briefcase.
The business briefcase,
It was awesome.
That Cody and Sandow feud was really good. It's a shame I saw Sandow announce his official retirement from wrestling to focus more on acting.
Yeah, I mean, he should do it, though. He's a great stunt double.
Yeah.
And then the last match of this beautiful card, the inaugural Money in the Bank, Sheamus defeating John Cena by escaping the cage in the steel cage match. So
is this when Sheamus was on his ultra heel run?
So his ultra heel run was like when he won the title in 2009 in December, and then obviously lost it at Elimination Chamber to Cena. I'm assuming he won it back. Couldn't tell you when. Big Show, go from the ring or go from the bottom and push it up. I mean, I'll say this though. If it was that big and he can't do it, how the hell can anybody else do it?
Right?
Smart man.
There we go. He got it in there. That reinforced ladder.
Get a little crowd reaction. You can see it. We don't have really the audio here, but you can see the claps and people like.
But it's selling the fact that it's like, because That was the thing too. Like even when it was like Jerry show, and they did the thing with DX, like they broke the ladder. Like
yeah, they've always done it with him. Yeah, it's consistent. I'll give him that, and it's cool. It's creative.
Hey, he's the biggest guy.
That should be the damn ladder, dude. Like gold with black rungs. Can you imagine being the intern to paint that? I'm assuming they had to paint that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It looks like there was two actual normal ladders they would usually use. They're just glued together.
Can you also imagine Big Show wasting all this energy to bring in the ladder, and then his ankle gets taken out immediately?
Like it would have been nice if he went up there and like they fought, maybe gave him a choke slam out. Someone else came down. Kane came down and pulled him down. That's what I would have done. That spot.
100%. But you know, Big Show, you earned it. But no, never mind.
Then they're gonna have the two smallest guys in the match fight about it.
Oh, you know how safe they probably feel though.
Like, oh,
because I don't care what anybody says, man. Those ladders get wobbly sometimes the higher you get up.
Yeah, they really do. And
so being on that beautiful ladder, it's like a mattress probably.
Yeah. Oh man, it's really cool to see how much Dolph Ziggler's like being pushed at this point in time.
Yeah, especially in the mid card level.
Yeah, he was a great IC champion. He goes on to be world champion. For like a day, and then he goes on to be world champion, again after that.
For 2 days.
So 2 days, yeah. Would you like to ever, obviously he was NXT champion for like 5 days.
I forgot he was.
So his championship runs are very vague. Would you like to see him like become more of like, could you ever see him like being in the capabilities of wrestling Roman or Cody or someone like, or Seth? Or like any of the big time players for the world title, or
I think he would need a character change. I don't want to say gimmick because I think Dolph Ziggler
could be because he should. That's who he is.
I feel like he'd have to be. He can't be a show off. Yeah. Like you can't get away with that anymore because everybody, like the real people know how good you are, but also like you need something to kind of just give you that main roster or main event like ish push if that makes
maybe
sense.
Maybe like a face turn and like
you could do a face turn.
You're like more like.
You can definitely do the face turn because Roman's a great heel, and I don't see him losing anytime.
Well, and when he was doing that, what was that called? Raw Underground they had, and he was actually wrestling people, and it's like, I would believe him. Honestly, he's the same size close to Cody, same size close to Seth.
But that's what I'm saying. So like
two top dogs, currently in my opinion, besides Roman. So what's like stopping him from being, in that conversation? So maybe
I just think it's a
character.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's just a reinvention because like, what's the difference between Cody here and then Cody now besides experience? What do you think?
Honestly, experience. I think
it's just a reinvention. Yeah. His hair's dyed, and I mean, honestly, he is actually. I think it's a really good character here with the dashing thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the American Nightmare, like, what is that really? It's just his name, right?
It's just he's using the name Rhodes to be successful.
And then obviously Seth. I mean, he's done it so many times. Like he could honestly be in the main event whenever. But like same thing with Kofi. Like Kofi at this point, like he's a mid card. He's probably gonna stay mid card till he goes with the New Day, right? Like that New Day change. Obviously, he was in the tag team forever. But that was still something different because it's like, all right, well, he was never a singles guy. Okay, well, let's give him the singles push.
Yeah. I agree.
So I think it's something like that. Like, obviously, when you have people like Kane or whatever, like, you could always do that with just a costume change or, like, a tire change. I don't like to say costume, a tire change. But
it is crazy.
It's like same thing with Matt Hardy. Like, he was known as a mid-carder. A little bit with the V1, got a little bit of a push. And then after that, just mid-card for years. And then all of a sudden, that one switch, a little gray streak, deletion, main event all of a sudden.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's all it takes. It's just, once you find that one thing and you're going to stay devoted to it, like, it could take you somewhere.
I do wish that, I think that Big Money Matt character he did in TNA would work out well in WWE and would at least be able to give him one run at attempting to become world champion.
Completely agree.
That one main event run.
Completely agree.
Because that character, I think, is good. And, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened with him and Jeff because I think Matt says he does plan on staying in AEW for the remainder of his career. But, I mean, obviously Cody Rhodes started the company and left. So, anything's possible in the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
I would like to see Matt, because I think Matt was always overshadowed by Jeff.
Oh, 100%.
But at this stage of the game, Matt's the good brother. Matt realized he had a problem at some point in his life and cut it off real quick.
I honestly think
that shit in the butt.
I think Jeff went back to drinking because of the matches he was doing. Like I think
he's got to be in a lot of pain, man.
It's what I'm saying. Like I think Jeff was like I think WWE was like, Jeff, don't even think about doing half the bumps you want to do. Obviously, there was still some sort of abuse going on, and WWE tried to get him help. Yeah, and then obviously he said no, so whatever. Hey, look, Big Show finally gets to utilize the ladder. But
I wish Jeff Hardy all the best.
AEW, people were just like, you can do whatever you want to sell yourself, and then obviously with that comes pain. See, that's the thing right there. Like, Big Show, like, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but that's a good-ass bump for his size. To flip over the ropes like that, like, that's awesome. Like, you don't see that too much.
And here comes the, how you would say, burial.
Legit. But, so, yeah, like, I just feel like maybe he was in pain, because that Darby match, man, like, people were like, oh, he's in rough shape. Like, you could see him limping out double or nothing. I'm like, what the hell do you expect? Did you see the bumps that those two were taking on a random-ass Wednesday?
Yeah, because I mean, and like you're talking to a guy Jeff Hardy who's like
he's an adrenaline junkie. He'll do that
else.
Shit. Yeah,
like he did all that stuff and he doesn't use that anymore. Thank God, because he'd probably be dead.
Probably.
But it's like the alcohol is just it's just another vice. So
you always need one of these in the match where everybody just scrambles
everyone goes up.
Or the briefcase.
Belt,
briefcase.
I think Matt Hardy though will do well as an agent for either company, and I think Christian will as well.
I can see Matt, for some reason, starting his own promotion.
I mean, he's been there. He's done that.
I mean, I think he's done it when he was a lot younger, so I think he would do it. Like, I think he'd be well at it older. So, but in regards to like
a Booker T role, like
like a smaller ass level. Yeah, exactly like that. Like I think he would.
But if you make it a reality, right? Because Booker T obviously has his students, and then he also brings in talent. I mean, some people that we've met along the way have worked there, and I think that's pretty cool. But I think that'd be awesome if something like that set up in North Carolina, because you don't really have like a decent wrestling hub in that area.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I will say, man, Ziggler could always make something look like he's scrambling for his life. That's why I think he is
a really good heel.
Yeah, it's just he's good. I do wish he had a longer title run, but obviously concussion said.
Yeah, because dude, that pop when he won the world title when he cashed in against Del Rio, right?
Yeah, it's one of the best pops ever.
Biggest pop of all time, yeah.
Almost tore his ankle right there. That flip over by King.
I literally thought he was going to have like the popularity of Shawn Michaels someday because of his character that he was playing in this point in time.
That's why I think
Cougar role.
Yeah, I would say that's when he was awesome. That's what I think actually kind of hurt him, though, is when he went to the pants and he started doing the sweet chin music in the corner. I was like, yeah, that's kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Because he was always had that comparison to Shawn, rightfully so, but... It's just absolutely crazy to see like McIntyre and Kofi and Cody, and it's just like I always thought Cody would make it this far. Like I always thought he could make it. I think Christian's been overlooked almost like Matt, like you kind of said. I always thought Kofi should have got a run. Maybe I'm trying to think, when was that Orton feud?
2009,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should have had that. I think he should have got pushed there, so you don't know what would have happened actually in 2010. But
well, everyone's a world champion in this match besides Cody Rhodes. Well, no, Cody Rhodes is NWA world champion, and I recognize that as a world title.
Oh, of course.
So
for your wrestling historian, you should.
So every person in this match has been a world champion on some level.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. That's a good stat.
So that's
a good stat line.
That's a pretty cool thing to see in a match like this in 2010 when you just think these are all mid-carders and guys that are just kind of like running at fumes. You would say Big Show and Kane, and just guys who are going to be always going to be perpetual mid-cards, which is Matt Hardy and Christian. And Christian was NWA World Champion, TNA World Champion, World Heavyweight Champion, and then you got Kane had 2 title reigns, I believe. Hardy had the ECW World Champion. Big Show had, I think, 2 runs as champion, right?
Yeah. With the world heavyweight, it's hard to. Yeah, I'm not sure.
He did have the world title as well. So so maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5. Cody.
Oh, this is a nice little tease here. Like one of these 2 old dogs in regards to ladder matches are going to win the championship, Christian or win the briefcase, and then maybe win the championship, Christian or Edge, or Christian or Matt Hardy.
I wish one of these guys, for their stature in the ladder matches, did get the Money in the Bank.
I agree.
Because it would be a little different than just Edge every time he's in it. He wins.
Well, yeah, no, I completely agree.
So
crowd's into it too.
I would if I didn't already know the outcome, I would have been really cool with Christian winning the Money in the Bank match.
Of course.
Because He was super. I think a lot of people saw what he could do in TNA as world champion. He had awesome matches against Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, Sting, Jeff Jarrett.
Damn, they're high up, dude. They're in the last rung.
They're like, well, at least we know we're not going to fall off this one.
Yeah, right. Look how it's still wobbly because they're so high up. Nah.
Holy
Oh,
shnikes.
that's a bump.
Like that ropes. Oh, yep.
Got a little bloody. Got a little bloody on the lip. Yeah, that's crazy. What's your favorite Money in the Bank ladder match?
My favorite one.
It could be obviously the pay-per-view or WrestleMania.
My favorite spot, and I'll say my favorite one.
I could probably
is the Matt Hardy Flair suplex.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
You take him out on a stretcher. Yeah, crazy. But my favorite Money in the Bank match was honestly the first one.
21? Really cool.
Yeah.
That's a good one. That's a very, that's like the epitome of like solidified mid-card talent.
And one person from that is going to become a top-tier talent, which is Edge. Yeah. I think that really I think that really boosted Edge to the next level.
It definitely did that, and I think it solidified the match, though, because it's like, yeah, Christian could be champion. I can see that. Oh, Benoit was already champion, but he could definitely win it again. Edge could definitely do it, and then obviously you had Kane and Jericho.
I thought Jericho was going to win, honestly. I thought this was a spot to put Jericho back, because he created the match on TV.
Yep.
And I really thought it was like, all right, this is like watching it back. I was like, because I was always a fan of Jericho, probably the music aspect.
Ding, 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 ding,
ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
That's a nice little tease of McIntyre being out the whole match, coming in, being the chosen one, about to win the title, and then here you go, your winner that I probably almost spoiled with a million times.
This was a weird time. I kind of thought this would have been a good time for Dolph to win.
I agree. Like, I think Dolph or Kofi at this time. Yeah. Maybe even Cody, but it might have been a little too soon for Cody. Yeah.
It was still better than this cash-in against Rey Mysterio. And then, I mean...
But at the same time, it was like Kane never got his big win.
Yeah.
This might have been his big win. You know, if that makes any sense.
I would say Kane's biggest win to me was when he won the world title from Steve Austin.
Well, no, of course, but that was in '98. So since then, what was his big win?
Nothing.
So this might have been it. And then on top of it,
he electrocuted Shane McMahon's balls.
It set JR on fire.
Yeah.
And to piggyback off what you said, like you have the Rey Mysterio. He cashes in later today, or later on this show. Not today, not in 2022. But and then right after that, he begins the feud again with Taker, which is cool. Really it's very overlooked because of obviously their age.
It's very good, and also at the same point in time, I think, like you said, it's overlooked. But he actually got to carry the world title for longer than 3 days.
Exactly.
He was ECW champion, right, for like a week or something.
Yeah, he won it at 24, WrestleMania 24, but I forget how long he actually had it for.
It wasn't very long, so this was definitely his longest title reign after this. And I thought, I'm cool with that. He's world champion. Kane definitely deserves it.
Yeah.
And especially he does so well in that storyline with Taker. They finally put a button on Paul Bearer.
Yep.
That's cool. Their Hell in a Cell match is really good.
Yeah.
So I think this is an overlooked time for Kane and Undertaker, especially on the SmackDown brand.
And like we kind of talked about how like this is like a King of the Ring tournament in one match. And also you have to have solidified mid-card talent, which you have here. Like, especially looking back now, it's just like, holy shit, like, it might not be as deep as the first Money in the Bank match, because like I said, I think you could see all of them being a champion without this match, where if Dolph would win in this, or Kofi would have won in this, it'd be like, all right, like, I'm not sure if they're ready. Like, obviously you use the Money in the Bank briefcase as like a test, you know, which is what they started doing after this pay-per-view, kind of with Miz, who won it for the Raw one, because obviously he's ultra mid-card, just like a Dolph or Kofi.
Yeah.
But they kind of utilized him for like 3 or 4 months to see if he could be taken seriously. Once the crowd kind of did, all right, cash in and be champion. So like I think they wanted to have a solidified face win the very first match, obviously, which is with Kane. Obviously he turns heel once he cashes in on Rey Mysterio. But then with Miz, I think they utilized, all right, we're going to use Miz as our mid-card guy to hold the briefcase and see if we could actually utilize this going forward, which is why in 2011 you get Daniel Bryan winning. And I forget who else won on the Raw side. 2011, I forget. But like you start getting more of the mid-card talents.
Alberto Del Rio.
There you go. Yeah, we talked about that on the SummerSlam show last week. But I think that's when they started utilizing the mid-card winning. I think they just wanted to do one for this pay-per-view of Kane. You know who he is. You know what you're going to get with him. Professional. obviously over with the crowd. We'll utilize him, but then all right, let's do one match where it's mid card, and it's like the belt. It's like the appetizer before the main course, the belt before the belt. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree.
Anybody that cashed in that you wish didn't, or sorry, that cashed in successfully that you wish did not. And then maybe give one vice versa. I mean, there's only been a handful.
Just to even think. I would say I wished Alberto Del Rio didn't cash in. I was just never a fan of him.
Yeah, same.
He would have been one for me to fail because he was a hated heel. Yeah. And it's like, if the heel doesn't win, people are like, yeah, F him. It's cool. I do wish Damien Sandow was able to cash in. If he got a quick roll-up and beat Cena, Yeah,
because Cena just remember, he rushed back from the elbow surgery, beat Del Rio for the title, and then, I think it was Del Rio. And then it's like, Sandow tried to cash in and failed. So you would trade in a Del Rio fail for a Damien Sandow cash in. Would you do that with anybody else?
Let me see.
Yes,
I think
the loop.
I'm cool with this Kane cashing in. I do appreciate that for what it is. Dolph's was good.
I wish Kennedy kept his longer than I know. It was like a surgery procedure that ended up not being a surgery procedure.
Yeah, he had some issues.
No, it was fine. He had a torn something.
They said a crazy pain pill problem.
No, so that's the thing. Like Kennedy, I think he said he tore something in his shoulder or elbow. The doctor at WWE said you're going to be out for like a year, which is way longer than the deadline. So they're like, all right, we're just going to take it off you to Edge. Edge does it. He goes to Dr. Andrews like 3 days later saying you'll be fine in you'll be fine in I think 2 months, he says. So they actually could have held on to it. And that's what sucks. So then that's when they came up with the storyline of the Vince McMahon's son to kind of give him another type important role to become champion. And then that's when he goes on CNN saying, we have a very strict drug policy. And then a week later, he fails the drug test problem. So Vince is like, we're going to go the other route. We're going to go with a Hornswoggle. So, it's one of those storylines where it kind of backfired and trying to give somebody else another push because he was mega over.
So when Cena won it and called CM Punk out, I believe it was. Right,
yeah, for Raw 1000.
Yeah, I wish he lost.
He did lose.
Wow.
Big Show came in and interrupted, and then that's when they had that triple threat at SummerSlam 2012.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So that's one I would not change. That was fine.
Okay.
So that's fine. Let me see. I'm thinking.
I'm always torn with the Swagger one at 26, and I think it's partially because there were so many damn people in it.
Yeah.
Maybe I do like the outcome, but I'm just thinking that match wasn't memorable, so maybe like Christian winning it or something. Although we just said kind of Christian here, but maybe that's because he didn't win it 2010. I don't know. But
yeah, I don't really have another one that I could think of off the top of my head. However, the best one I thought was the RVD Cena. That's my favorite cash in.
That's a good cash in. Favorite cash in.
Because that pay-per-view was awesome.
I've always liked the Edge one.
The original Edge one or the 1700 one?
Yeah, I mean, they're actually both good, to be fair. Yeah, for sure, Edge. I feel like there's the Randy Orton one to me is always awesome. I'm always going to say that one. But
the Seth one's really good, too, at WrestleMania.
Seth, true. I just think I always forget about that one because, and I shouldn't because Pricey called it, but I always forget about that one because I think that was like the only option WWE had. Like, obviously when you still hear the music and he comes out, you're like, oh yeah, but like you're still just thinking like, all right, Lesnar re-signed, but he's not. You look at his dates in his contract, like he can't be the champion anymore. Yeah. Roman just wasn't over with the crowd. Like, I don't know. I just think that was the only option they had, like looking back on it. So that's kind of worked out. But I always wish Corbin cashed in just to see. I think it would have been a short reign, but I think it would have been cool to see. I'm okay with Cena not cashing in. I wish Damien actually did cash in. Or if he lost it to Cody, because I remember they had the feud going into SummerSlam 2013, and
what about Otis? I'm good with that one.
Oh, 100% good with that one. Oh, I wish Sheamus didn't cash in what would have been 16?
Yeah,
2015.
Sorry, Sheamus just beat you
15.
in 15 seconds or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that's when he beat Reigns. Remember in that Survivor Series tournament? Remember it was Reigns versus Ambrose at Survivor Series?
I thought he cashed in on Roman.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Roman won the tournament, and then Sheamus cashed in. Yeah, I wish I would trade in Sheamus failing for Corbin to win, and then I would probably trade in. I don't know which one I would trade. I would definitely trade in another one to where Sandow would have cashed in to win successfully.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely okay with Cena. Cena definitely didn't need it.
No.
Oh, Braun's cash-in was stupid. It was supposed to be in a Hell in a Cell match, and that just shit the bed.
Yeah.
But do you ever wish there was somebody that actually, I mean, I guess this can kind of go in that won the Money in the Bank that you thought, like let's just say it's the 90s, pick any year, or 80s, any year. Who do you think would have been cool with, like, who do you think would have been entertaining with the Money in the Bank?
Mick Foley, 90s. I think that would have been awesome
cool.
to see. Because he'd be like, you never know what face of Foley you're going to get either.
That'd be really cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
Like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then there would be like probably a stipulation where he would have the title for like 2 days, be taken away from because the title contract was for Mankind, not Cactus Jack.
Something corny like that, yeah.
But that's something that would happen in the Attitude Era.
No, right, yeah.
And he would love the Attitude Era. So there's that. But that's something in the 90s. In like 80s, I would have loved to see.
That's like going way far back, but
yeah, it's the different era of wrestling, the golden era of wrestling. I would love to see like maybe Arn Anderson win it, like, and then it's like, you know, it's weird, like he's in the Horsemen, Flair's world champion. It's like,
oh, you're going NWA, huh?
Yeah, so
okay.
I've been watching a little bit more of that lately.
No, that makes sense.
And it's different, and it's something I'm not
tease.
accustomed to. So it's like, you know, you had an Arn and Flair feud that was lackluster in WCW, but
it was late. It was pushed way too late. They should have did it in the early 90s or 80s, late 80s.
Late 80s, they should have did it, like 87.
Yeah.
Because Arn, I think, was the second best wrestler out of the Four Horsemen.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Blanchard was no joke, don't get me wrong. But
no, he would tie you up
Arn.
like a pretzel, but it's just like he wasn't Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson was like believable. He was a big dude. Like,
best spine buster in the history.
Yeah.
I always say in the 90s, I think Owen Hart would have been amazing at it.
Oh, dude, especially like when he was with the Nation.
Yeah. No, I'm even going like 95, 96, where he was like, I'm better than like Brett. Like I can't imagine the times he would try to cash in against Brett. And
then, and like never do it. Like come in, like
just
beat him up.
Yeah.
And like Brett gets the upper hand on him, like
just
rolls
runs
over
away.
and he's like, nope, didn't reel the referee in.
Yep, exactly. I think he'd be perfect for it, and then I think Perfect would have been good. I mean, that's kind of that might be 90. So to be more 80 centric, I think Rick Martel would have been cool.
Yeah, he's really underlooked, especially before he was the model Rick Martel. Like the WCW, AWA, NWA version of him was very. I mean, don't get me wrong. I thought the model gimmick was cool. And
I think it was cool.
It fit the time in WWE in the '90s.
Yeah.
But that '80 gimmick of himself, I mean, that's.
Yeah, them or like maybe Ted DiBiase, even though he already had like a gimmick, but I think that would have been
cool.
he
had the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
That
true.
would have been a good time, like especially in the '90s if you brought in IRS.
Yeah.
Like that's his Money in the Bank, and like
Yeah.
he'd carry that around instead of the briefcase for
True.
your taxes. Like that would have been cool.
Who do you think should have won Money in the Bank before? I mean, I know it kind of goes into like not cash. Well, no, it's a different question. Then we'll wrap up the show. I know it's very Money in the Bank centric, but
yeah, no, I like that because it is like you said, the King of the Ring version of this like clickbait, want everything now, modern era. I think
I would think MVP at 24.
MVP would have been awesome. I also think. Let me think.
Why you think real quick? I always say Seth Rollins and Ambrose in the 2014 because it's kind of like a forgotten year of like a transition kind of too, almost similar to 2010. But that's a very good Money in the Bank match. And then obviously you had that one. You had two ladder matches. You had the Money in the Bank match, and then you had the Daniel Bryan had to relinquish the title. So Cena won the WWE title in the ladder match, which is a very good pay-per-view. That's one of probably the better ones of the. I think in the catalog, but I don't want to.
I thought it would have been cool when RVD had his big comeback. I think it was 2014.
Oh yeah, that is. Yeah, he was in the match. He was in the title match.
I think if he won that would have been cool to see him go against Cena one more, even if he lost.
Yeah.
That would have been cool to have like he comes back at Money in the Bank, wins it, goes to SummerSlam, loses to Cena, and then like you could write RVD off, and RVD I think could put a wrap on his career because RVD was still
it might have been actually
really
2013
good.
now I think about it, because that's when CM Punk came back, and then Paul Heyman turned on him. I think that's when he came back.
But imagine CM Punk versus RVD for the world title.
Yeah.
At
Dude.
SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Because it's like Paul Heyman's original guy versus like Paul Heyman's guy today, and the world title. He's Mr. Money in the Bank, Mr. RVD's like I've been here before. And he would do the same thing again, cashing against you. And I don't think RVD needed the title. I mean, obviously he's legend already. Like
Oh,
he's good.
no, yeah, he's
But CM Punk, that's another person for CM Punk to beat and especially the title reign CM Punk had.
yeah.
Just move forward with.
No, I completely agree. And real quick, as we were talking, obviously the Money in the Bank card is still going on, and this Alicia Fox Eve Torres match had just ended. But this is what kind of sucked about the not giving the women time, because that was actually a pretty decent match for getting only 4 freaking minutes.
Yeah.
And like, Eve just did like a middle of the rope somersault, and it's like, that's what kind of sucks. And you're gonna see her here. Well, you guys are probably over. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And you did that in a 5-minute match, but I just want to show the ladies some love because
they were good.
They were
Alicia
good.
Fox
They just had
really
no time,
good,
and that
so
was the issue. And that's
Eve
always
Torres.
yeah. So. Either way, show's about to be over. Very Money in the Bank centric. Obviously, maybe we'll recap. I think Forbidden Doors this weekend, huh?
Yeah.
We got Moxley versus Tanahashi because CM Punk had to relinquish the title due to surgery.
Who do you think is the title? I think
Moxley has to. I wish they didn't even do Forbidden Door. I mean, unless is the New Japan contract like legit? Like some people are going to be on the AEW show every week.
I don't know. I just saw AAA cannot compete in the event. So, Charlotte Flair's husband cannot compete. Andrade can't compete. Anyone who has a AAA contract.
Oh, really?
Cannot compete because they don't want that.
That's crazy. That's stupid. But it's
by
absolutely
AAA because AAA is. So if I was going to look at professional wrestling as a mile marker, you got WWE, AEW, New Japan, TNA.
Yeah.
Throw something else in between, then you have like AAA is not as big as they were when it was Carlito Colon's like territory. Like,
yeah, exactly.
So that, I think.
Well, I don't think Carlito Colon was AAA. Carlito Colon was Puerto Rico.
Oh, Puerto Rico, yeah. That was a Mexican territory. So that's I don't even know who ran that. It's just if I was them, whoever's doing business, it's like it's business to do business. I would. If I was not WWE and I was a wrestling company, I would want to attach myself to AEW, and like AAA has. I mean, the Bucks were tag champions.
Yeah, I think so was
Kenny was
Revival.
world champion.
Yeah, so they done
so they have the connection there. So there's probably just I would assume something between New Japan and AAA. Maybe even AAA's contracts are exclusive and they don't want people working with AAA.
Maybe that's what it is.
So maybe it's just something like that, and they just don't have that relationship, but.
Yes,
hopefully Tony Khan's the mastermind can get all these, because I think it is cool that all these indie promotions are able to
free reign for the person. Yeah, I completely agree. For the wrestler, it's awesome.
Awesome for the wrestler. It's awesome for the fan, because you're like these Mexican wrestlers that we don't get to see all the time. Like Andrade's awesome.
Yeah,
he'd be great.
But there's people like him that we don't see.
Yeah, exactly. And that's maybe like we'd be able to see there's a lot of Will Mascaras. There's a lot of Andrades that we didn't see. There's a lot of Berto Del Rios we didn't see.
Yeah.
And I just think that's just being missed because that Mexican, especially those Mexican style wrestlers, they just very well in Japan. Guerrero, Mysterio, they all did well in Japan.
Yeah.
So to me,
definitely
that sucks.
No, 100%. So, but I just kind of wish like you would do like every other match you would kind of do, like New Japan versus AEW, but I kind of wish like the main title was for like excuse me, like AEW talent. Like if Daniel Bryan didn't hurt his foot in between the damn ramp, I would have loved to see Daniel Bryan versus Moxley because they're in that BCC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Not
either
to be
way,
confused with the BBC.
Yes, BCC exactly. But either way, we will definitely recap the matches on there because Ospreay is going to be on the show, and everybody's been kind of waiting for him to come to the States. We'll see what happens with that. I'm sure we'll see Jay White, Tanahashi.
Cool.
Yeah, huh?
He wants to wrestle Daniel Bryan. So that'd be cool.
So it's going to be cool to see how this kind of is received.
How about Ace Austin in the Bull Club?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy, right?
It's insane.
It is crazy. We worked with him once or twice.
Follow your dream.
Yeah, it's awesome. Shout out to him. Good job. Congrats. But yeah, with that being said, we're going to definitely wrap up the show. I hope you guys enjoyed Money in the Bank 2010, where Kane was victorious first match of the inaugural pay-per-view, cashed in successfully. And then, yeah, like I said, next week we'll probably preview some Money in the Bank, watch another match, recap Forbidden Door all throughout. Bring her in the bloodline. But anyway, I forgot you guys aren't paying attention. If you guys ever want us to cover a match or whatever, definitely reach out to us at PML Show, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Or if you guys want us to talk about something during the matches, definitely reach out to us. Or a pay-per-view in general, we'll just watch a match from that. Definitely reach out to us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at PML Show. We are the PML Crew. Rich Lopez, Homeboy Malloy, Robert Price is always with us. To the single moms, to the father-in-laws, to the stepfathers, to the dads.
To the single dads.
To the single dads. Happy Father's Day. Hope you guys enjoy your weekends. Families, as always, stay safe. Enjoy time with the friends and fam. Tell a friend, tell a family, tell a wrestling fan. We are the PML Show. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Enjoy your weekend. As always, peace.